Why do some of the most principled leaders end up making the most questionable decisions? Why do those who once promised to serve the public become entangled in self-interest, secrecy, and scandal? History and current events are filled with examples of people who began their journey with integrity, only to become symbols of corruption once they reached the top. The mystery isn't just about bad apples, it's about a deeper, more uncomfortable truth. Power itself changes people. Before I continue, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, so more people can discover this content. Also subscribe to receive more content like this. Power is one of the most sought-after forces in human society. From politics to business to religion, individuals often enter positions of authority with noble intentions, to lead with integrity, serve others, or improve the system. Yet history repeatedly shows us that even well-minded individuals can become compromised, corrupted, or morally dulled once they attain power. This contradiction poses a vital question. Why do good people often go bad when they get power? The answer lies in a complex interplay of psychological, social, and systemic forces, many of which become visible in the American political system, a democracy designed with checks and balances but still not immune to corruption. One of the most immediate effects of power is its tendency to reduce empathy. Studies in psychology, particularly those by Dache Keltner and his colleagues at UC Berkeley, show that power disrupts an individual's ability to read others' emotions and take their perspective. The powerful tend to become more focused on their own goals and less responsive to others' needs. In American politics, this is evident when elected officials, once rooted in local communities and their struggles, become distant or inaccessible after attaining national office. The empathy they once had is replaced by a preoccupation with lobbying, party agendas, and re-election campaigns. Constituents become statistics, not people. A lesser-known but influential psychological phenomenon is moral licensing, the tendency for people to justify bad behavior based on past good deeds. Politicians who campaign on reform or justice may start to believe that their good intentions give them a kind of ethical immunity. For example, a senator who champions environmental policy might feel entitled to sidestep campaign finance rules if they believe it helps keep them in power to do more good. The original mission becomes secondary to the justification of increasingly questionable methods. Accountability is the immune system of power. Without it, corruption spreads. While the US Constitution was designed with checks and balances, modern political realities have weakened many of these mechanisms. Gerrymandering means drawing voting maps, so one side almost always wins. This makes it so leaders don't get challenged much, and people just support their team instead of making sure their leaders are doing the right thing. The Department of Justice, though meant to be independent, can be pressured by political forces. As oversight erodes, power consolidates. Presidents, senators, and governors may find themselves increasingly insulated from consequences. When wrongdoing has no meaningful repercussions, it becomes easier to justify. The more power one gains, the more fearful one becomes of losing it. This fear fuels rationalizations, bending the rules, silencing critics, avoiding transparency. In the US, this is visible in the relentless nature of election cycles and the growing dependence on massive fundraising. Candidates must constantly cater to donors, special interests, and polling data, often at the expense of their original ideals. This can be seen across both major American parties, where maintaining control of the House or Senate can lead to decisions more about preserving power than serving people. With power comes influence, and influence attracts flattery. Over time, powerful individuals tend to be surrounded by advisors, staff, or party loyalists who rarely challenge their decisions. This creates echo chambers, environments where the leader's beliefs are constantly reinforced. In American politics, partisan media ecosystems further this trend. Politicians may only hear favorable coverage from aligned outlets, while dismissing criticism as fake news or partisan attacks. This isolation breeds poor decision-making and a false sense of moral authority. As philosopher David Brin noted, power doesn't corrupt, it reveals. This means that when someone gets power, it doesn't usually turn them bad, it just shows who they really are. If someone is secretly greedy, selfish, or unsure of themselves, having power can make those traits much more obvious. We've seen this in various presidencies where once reasonable leaders began to exhibit authoritarian tendencies. Executive orders bypass legislative processes. Press freedoms are challenged. Whistleblowers are punished. These actions often come from the idea that the leader is the country, that whatever they want automatically becomes what's right or wrong. Even a genuinely well-meaning person who enters a corrupt or dysfunctional system will face enormous pressure to conform. The US political system, deeply entangled with corporate lobbying, polarized partisanship, and campaign finance dependency, often demands ethical compromises just to get things done. Freshly elected lawmakers, for instance, are frequently advised by party leaders to play the game, fundraise, vote with the party, and avoid controversial stances. Over time, big dreams and ideals fade away and are replaced by a focus on just doing whatever works, even if it looks more like taking advantage of opportunities than sticking to what's right. The corruption of good people in positions of power is not a simple matter of moral failure. It is the result of deeply human tendencies, reduced empathy, fear, rationalization, magnified by structural flaws and cultural dynamics. The American political system, though built on democratic ideals, is not immune to these forces. In fact, it often amplifies them. This understanding is not meant to excuse corruption, but to highlight how fragile integrity can be when placed under pressure. It is also a reminder of the importance of accountability, transparency, and public engagement. Ultimately, a system that allows for unchecked power will corrupt even the best of us, not because they were never good, but because no one is immune. Power doesn't just change people, it reveals who they really are. If this made you think, drop a like and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more content on power, politics, and human nature, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching.